Hello and welcome to Kel Knits. My name is Kelly and I'm an Aussie knitter living in Sydney, Australia. And this is my YouTube channel where I make little videos to talk about my knitting, what I've been working on, what I finished, what I'm halfway through, what I would like to work on, and so forth. If you're new, welcome. It's lovely to see you here. And if you're returning, welcome back. Before I start, I want to just acknowledge the Camaragal people, who are the traditional owners of the land where I'm filming this video from today. And I would like to also pay my respects to their elders, both past, present, future, and emerging. And if you would like to know more about the Camaragal people or why an acknowledgement to country is so important, particularly in Australia, I will link some information down in the show notes below. I do try and link all of the information about the yarns and the projects that I talk about in the show notes, so that if you have any questions, that's where you can have a look. But of course, if I forget something, if I say the wrong thing, or anything else, please feel free to leave a comment. I try to check all the comments as well. Yeah, that's probably all of the intro and so forth. This is probably going to be a short video, but I thought it's probably a few weeks before I can do one. So I wanted to take the opportunity today to do a quick video update of where I'm up with my projects, because I have two finished objects, okay, almost finished objects, and am getting through some others. So let's get started. Okay, my first finished object is what I'm wearing, which is my newest favorite, most favorite knit in the world. I think I have worn this every day since it came off the needles and was blocked. It's just so practical and so helpful and perfect for this kind of cool weather that we're having here in Sydney. So I love it. And it is called Auspice and by Mutch. And let me open it up and show you. It is a shawl, but it is very long and quite, it's not particularly complicated. It's a lot of garter stitch, and then you have these beautiful eyelet rows, and you do some wrap and turns to create the short rows. I added a whole extra section, which is kind of this last section here, because I still had a lot of yarn left, and I thought, well, I want to use up all the yarn if I can, and also I like the length, so I got to use up the rest of the yarn, and I pretty much I had like a tiny, maybe 5 grams left or something, so I really did properly use it up. And now it's a beautiful length that I absolutely love, and I already have plans now to make another one. So I honestly can't rave about this pattern. It's that nice combination of mindless but still with stuff to do. It was just one skein of yarn that I used, and this is Exquisite by West Yorkshire Spinners in the color Noir, black. And it's a merino, I think it's merino anyway, certainly a wool silk blend. So it feels fantastic up around my neck, and it's keeping me beautiful and cozy, and I love it in the black. It looks so good in the black. And I mean, when do you not need, well, like what outfit does a black little scarf not go along with? It just goes with everything. So, and particularly great for work. Anyway, I'm raving because I love it. And I'm gonna make more. I wanna make more in all the colors, although to be fair, I'm not sure. I think the black will continue to remain my favorite as well. So this is Auspice by Mutch. Love it, highly recommend it. Especially for a really nice, short knit as well, with that beautiful one skein that you've got, perfect. My second finished object, okay, it's not quite finished. So I don't even have, I might try and take some photos and insert some photos so you can see it properly, is my cardigan. I've got ends, I've got little, what do you call them? Stitch markers everywhere. This is Unplugged by Hook Mountain Handmade, and I've knit this for my brother, so it's big for me. I knit it for his birthday, which was months ago, but it is finally finished. almost. These lovely stitch markers are here telling me where to put the currently non-existent buttons, because when I went to put the buttons on, I realized the buttons were too big. I just didn't even think to really check that. I don't know why. It's pretty sensible to make sure the buttons fit into the buttonholes, but no, I just didn't consider it. To be fair, this is the second cardigan I've knit, and yeah, I don't think, I still haven't put cut buttons on the other cardigan. So I really need to do that, especially because I was hoping to get it off to my brother this week, but that's not going to happen now because I got to find some buttons and get it properly finished. It's lovely and cozy. This yarn is Katia Concept Tweed Cotton Merino color Rust, and it's a really lovely, fluffy, cozy feeling yarn. I've mentioned before that I don't super love the color, but then it's not for me. My brother chose the color, so that's totally okay. I think it'll be a really nice kind of, you know, throw on at home, cozy, comfortable cardigan for him. I have some there's little pockets here on both sides. I was not super happy with the button band. Just doesn't look really, I just think it looks a little messy. I think it could look tidier. And I considered reknitting the whole thing, but honestly, when I looked at some of the other project pages on Ravelry, I just wasn't convinced that for the amount of work to pull it all out and reknit it, that I was going to be able to make it look that much better. I didn't think it was going to be worth the work to do all of that, so I've decided not to. And soon I'll have buttons. So hopefully the next time I do a video, I won't have this with me anymore because I will have sent it to my brother. But I will make sure that if I don't have, by the time I post this video, if I don't have some good photos to insert, that I put them into the next one. Because it's always nice to share when you've worked on something and I've shown and talked about it through lots of different videos. It's nice to then show what it looks like when it's finished. Yeah, so that's my brother's finished cardigan. Those are my two FOs. I have a couple of whips. First one I might talk about is this one that I'm paused on at the moment. This is Tulip by Ririko. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'll insert a photo of what the pattern will look like when it's finished. And I've only done, last video I had just done kind of essentially cast on. I've done only a tiny bit more than that, starting to do the increases around the yoke. It has a pretty little cable detailing, kind of cable, well, it looks a bit like a cable detailing on the, what do you call that, raglan. I'll see if I can show it here. It doesn't show up super well in this yarn, and I've kind of paused it, one, because I got distracted by another project, and two, because I started to think, is this the right yarn for this project? Of course, so now that I've pulled it out and I'm looking at it, I don't mind it. But I thought the gauge, I'm not on gauge, so I'm just like crossing fingers and toes and hoping that by doing a larger size, that's going to work out okay. And someone did mention on my last video, I think in the comments, that with this other patterns from this designer, that they found that they needed more of a sport weight yarn. So I was wondering whether I might do better with going with, this is a 4-ply fingering, but it seems quite thin. Maybe if I had something that was slightly thicker and slightly with a bit more fluff. This is 100% wool. It is, I don't have the ball band in here, so I can't check. I'll write down the bottom what it is. I think it's merino wool, 100% merino wool. But you know how some just look fluffier. Like, I don't want a mohair or anything like that. Just something with a bit more, I think, fluff. I think that would look really nice with this pattern. And I have some yarn in my stash that I think could work. So at the moment, it's just it's just having a little pause, a little break whilst I decide whether I do want to start again with something else or if I want to keep going with this yarn. Big decisions, aren't they? Because it's a lovely colour. It does look nice. Now I'm looking at it now thinking, I do really like it. But I haven't done that much so far. So, not that much time lost if I was to decide to start again. So that's where I'm up to with my Tulip project. We shall see what decisions are made, but no decisions will be made in the next few weeks because I'm about to go away from next week for a week and a half, and I am in love with another project that is going to get all of my time, really, rather than this one. So it's going to get put to the side until I am ready to come back to it. It's not in the naughty corner. I don't have a naughty corner for my projects. It hasn't done anything wrong. I'm just not sure if it's perfect. So we'll see. But let me show you what has just taken my attention. And it's a project that, look, if you've been with me, if you've watched my videos since the beginning, like, first of all, you're amazing. Well done. That's incredible. And you might remember that I had a project that I was in love with in that first video. And yes, it was taking me a while to get through, but I was going to do it because I loved it. And then I didn't do any work on it for months and months and months. And then I think I brought it back out again at the end of last year and was like committed to keeping on working on this project. And then it disappeared again. It's back. It's back. And it is my Poet by Sari Nordland. And here it is. And I am still so in love with this project. But I promise I put a little progress marker here. I picked it up maybe a week and a half ago. And so I've knit, a few inches, maybe 3-4 inches there, which means that actually I'm steadily getting through the body. And of course, once I've done with the body, all this hard work is going to be done, all of this lace, and the arms will just be stockinette, and they're 3/4 sleeves that I'll be doing on this as well. So it actually isn't that far from being done. And I think that's partly why I'm feeling this time very confident that my motivation will continue and I'm going to get this project done. It's this beautiful lace pattern. It's not super complicated. It's just that, like with any lace, with a lace chart like this, I need to look at the chart. I can't quite go on autopilot. It takes time and it's slow, and I knit maybe an hour or so in the evening, which means I'm only getting through a couple of rows every evening. So it's slow progress, but progress is progress, and it's happening, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm getting excited that actually it might be done. Because as soon as I finish this body, I'm going to block it so I can properly see this gorgeous lace, how it's going to look, and then get it finished. So this is Poet by Sari Nordland. Let me see if I can hold it up and show off that lace a little bit more, which is going to look even better when it's all blocked out. I'm knitting this in Di Rerum Natura, which is a French yarn, I believe, Ulysses, and it's 100% wool in the color Aster. It's here. And I plan to take this away with me. I will talk about that in a minute. Whenever there's travel, you have to talk about knitting, travel knitting and knitting plans. And I spend much more time considering my knitting projects for any travel that I do versus anything else. But I did have another short trip last weekend. Last weekend, I was on a 3-night cruise, which was fun. It's the cruise to nowhere. It goes out into the ocean and then turns around and comes back. We have a friend that works with one of the cruise lines, so we were able to get the friends and family discounts, which was good, and go with a group of friends, which was fun. A little bit of drama. There was a fire in one of the cabins, so at 3 a.m. we all had to go muster whilst they accounted for everybody. It was all fine. Everybody was fine. No one was injured. We were just all a little bit more sleep deprived the next day, which was fine. But I brought, I didn't want to pack anything too much, so I just brought a ball of yarn to make myself some mittens. And here is my first mitten, and it is the Medley mitts by Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. They are part of the pattern book for last year's knit event that she does. And they're meant to be done with scraps, so they're meant to be done in multiple colors, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to take one ball of yarn and do a simple project. And so this is where I'm at with my mitten. And you can see it just has that nice detail of the yarn overs, the eyelet rows around the cuff, which is nice. I have bound off doing Jetty's surprisingly stretchy bind off. And when I did it, I thought, oh, that looks a bit much. I might undo that and do it just in a ribbed bind off. But actually when I put it on, I feel like it looks a little bit like a feature. So I'm keeping it. I have started the second one, but I'm here. I don't have very much to do. I haven't done very much of the second mitt yet, but it's a pretty quick knit. Mittens take not much time at all to knit, which is fun. And I might kind of save this, not for my next travel, but like the next time I have to take a bit of handbag knitting, or, you know, if I'm going up to my parents or something. And I'm so unorganized. I haven't brought the ball band here to check what the color is. I mean, it's like I think it's beige actually. I'm pretty sure it's the color beige, and it is drops extra fine merino. So, which is just a lovely, soft, feels good. It's not expensive. So it's a really lovely yarn. Those are all of my current whips, but I have a few plans. Well, no big plans, but next week on Saturday, I'm actually going back to Germany for a week and a half. Funnily enough, not for family visit, but for work. I've come back, moved back home, moved from Germany to Australia, and managed to find myself a job with a German company. And so I have to travel over there next week for a global HR conference that we're doing, which is I'm really looking forward to. I will, for the weekend, then go and visit the in-laws, and hopefully might even be able to catch up with a couple of friends very briefly before I head back too, which is really good. So that means I have those ridiculously, painfully long flights to get over there and back. And I'll also have a number of train trips on the Deutsche Bahn as well. So I have to have some knitting. Now, the first project, I am going to take my poet. I wasn't sure because, you know, I actually usually follow the chart on my laptop and just I have make a little line and move it as I get to the next line of the chart. But I zoomed up the chart and printed it out the other day, and I think I can do it. I just don't want to stop the momentum. And this is not going to be an aeroplane knit. Oh my goodness. No, I couldn't concentrate that much. Maybe at the airport, but definitely on the train. I don't think I'll have much time in hotels and things knitting. It's going to be pretty busy. But on the train, this is probably a good knit. And when I'm visiting the in-laws. So what else am I going to do? I have got this beautiful yarn put aside to make myself another Auspice because I love it and won't it look great in this color. This is Eden Cottage yarns in, it's the Hayton 4-ply in the color Tide, and it is 80% merino, superfine merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So again, beautiful around the neck, against the face. It's going to be lovely and really nice. There's a little bit of variegation in the color, but nothing too much. So I think it'll look quite nice. And this will be an aeroplane knit because I think it's just, there's a little bit going, it's not completely mindless, but it's pretty straightforward. So I think this will be fine for the aeroplane. And then my other knitting plans is I've just ordered some yarn because I just didn't have what I wanted in stash, and hopefully it arrives this week. It should do, should have time. And I'm gonna make my husband a beanie. So I probably will do the Purl Soho basic ribbed beanie, I think it's called. I've knit one before and it's pretty pretty straightforward and looks really good. And that will just be then knit purl, or I don't know, maybe it's 2x2, I can't remember. It's really for those when you're starting to feel, you know, you're on that second flight, because it's 2 flights to get to Europe from Australia. When you're on that second flight and you're feeling really kind of quite sleep deprived, but you still have hours to go and you can't sleep, that I think would be a good project for that. And he doesn't know, I'll do it as a bit of a surprise for him. I've knit him a beanie before, I've knit him a jumper before, but you know, and he's very supportive of my knitting, but every now and again he'll make a comment about, oh, when are you going to do something for me? So fine, I'll knit him a beanie. He has also lost, I'm sure it's not lost, it's just currently misplaced in our international move. He's the other beanie that I made for him, so I will knit one. I've ordered some like really basic navy blue color, because I might also then, I got a few balls that I might then later do some stuff for my daughter, because that's the color of her school uniform. So those are my finished objects, my whips, my knitting plans. That's about it for me, I guess. I might, just for fun, throw in at the end of the video a little video of the Vivid Festival in Sydney that we went to last night. It is amazing. It's done over winter, and it's just a big light show all across the city in Sydney, and it's really was incredibly impressive, packed full of people. So I might put in a video of that at the end, so you can see maybe a picture of, I don't know what videos I've got of the harbour, the Opera House or something like that, and they project all images up there. It's very, very cool. But other than that, that's it for me. I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day. I hope you are getting lots of lovely, relaxing knitting time. Until next time, have a great week, month, until I'm back. And yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, bye.